Good afternoon and welcome to your weekly FX Options report. Today is Wednesday, July 20th, 2011. In midweek trade, the major U.S. stock averages are posting a modest pullback a day after the major averages posted a strong rally. Now, the latest earnings reports as well as ongoing debt ceiling talks in D.C. remain in the spotlight. Also in the Eurozone on Thursday, July 21st, the finance ministers meeting will kick off. And U.S. housing data have come in on a mixed note this week. Most of the earnings reports this week have come in mostly better than expected. Now, moving on to the U.S. dollar, it is trading lower against most of the majors in midweek trade. At the same time, the Swiss franc continues to see gains against the majors, including the low-yielding currencies of the U.S. dollar and the yen. Now, one way to trade your views on U.S. dollar strength or weakness is to take a look at IC's FX options. One advantage is that they are U.S. dollar denominated. For more information, you can go to www.fxoptions.com. And in our next segment, which is our daily trend opinion, we'll start out by looking at the major IC FX option pairs with the AUX, the US currency, against the Australian dollar. Now, for that pair, the downside does prevail. It has validated a rising wedge pattern and calls for a decline. Also, the preference of trading central analysts for that pair is short positions below 98, with targets coming in at 90.75 and 89.15 in extension. For the BPX, the US dollar against the British pound, that pair is under pressure. It is expected to face further weakness, and therefore the preference of trading central analysts is short positions below 63.50, with targets coming in at 61.30 and 60.50 in extension. For the CDD, the U.S. currency against the CAD, that pair is also under pressure. It is also reversing down from the 99.30 resistance area. And the preference of trading central analysts for the CDD is short positions below 97.50, with targets coming in at 94.50 and 93.93 in extension. And moving on to the EUI, the US dollar against the euro, the downside prevails. The pair has struck against its resistance, and the RSI also remains capped by a declining trend line. The preference of trading central analysts for the EUI is short positions below 72, with targets coming in at 69.50 and 68 in extension. Moving on to the SFC, the US dollar against the Swiss franc, the downside prevails. Now, the RSI for the SFC is capped by declining trend line and remains within a bearish channel. Also, it is currently challenging its support. Therefore, the preference of trading central analysts for the SFC is short positions below 85.50, with targets coming in at 80.65 and 78 in extension. Last but not least for this segment, let's take a quick look at the YUK, the US dollar against the Japanese yen. Now, that pair is also under pressure, and it is also approaching its previous low. Therefore, the preference of trading central analysts for the YUK is short positions below 82.50, with targets coming in at 78.25 and 77 in extension. And moving on to your weekly trend opinion for the U.S. currency, it is reversing to the downside against most of the majors. In terms of portfolio performance, it does remain unchanged since last week. Since its inception, which was in August of 2007, it is higher by 2,458.76%. And since the beginning of this year, January 2011, it does remain higher by 623.76%. Now, we do have one trade alert for you right now, and it is to consider puts on the YUK, the US currency, against the Japanese yen. Now, for that pair, it has broken below its support level, and also it is expected to challenge a low around the 78.25 area. Taking a look at one trade alert that was given in our report last week, which was to consider puts on the PZO, it does stand below its resistance, and the daily RSI does remain capped by declining trend line, which does call for further weakness. Trading central analysts will be keeping a close eye on both the CDD and the SKA this week. Now, looking ahead to next week, trading central analysts will be looking at both the AUX and the NCD. They will be keeping a close eye on the AUX because it has validated a rising wedge pattern, which is considered a bearish pattern. Also, for the NZD, the US dollar against the Kiwi, it does remain under pressure, and the daily RSI is capped by a declining trend line. And that does wrap it up for a weekly FX options report. Make sure to tune in next Wednesday for your latest update. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.